Hey, how's it going? My name is Chris Murphy, and I'm one of the deployment engineers here at EngineYard. EngineYard is a platform as a service that helps you deploy, monitor, and scale your Ruby and PHP applications really easily. Today I'm going to run through deploying a Ruby app on our platform and just show you around the dashboard a little bit. So let's get started. You can go to pro.engineYard.com to sign up for an account or log in. I'm going to go ahead and log in, and you'll be able to see all the accounts that I'm a collaborator on. If you're just starting out, you'll only see one. On each account, I can add collaborators, which allows you to give easy access to friends or coworkers. I can also manage my SSL certs, I can install SSH keys for my environments, provision S3 buckets, and I can create and manage IP addresses. I can also get to my account settings. I can start creating my first environment here. I'll give it a name, and I'll click Create. EngineYard also supports Deis, which is a great open source application platform for working with containers. If you're interested, you can find out more at deis.io, but for the moment, I'll just stick with the EngineYard stack. The first set of options we get are around our infrastructure. EngineYard is built on top of Amazon Web Services, and you can deploy your application in any of the supported data centers. I'm based out of Dublin, Ireland, so I'll go ahead and pick that. And here we can set the default server size. We can add any size server later, but for the most part I know that I'm going to be using M3 larges, so I'll keep it at that. Although I've picked Ireland as my region, each region has multiple isolated locations, known as availability zones. And by default your servers will be distributed amongst these zones, and that's great for high availability. We have 3 available support options: platform only, level 1, and level 2. Because I know I'm going to be breaking this a lot and really just want to use it as a sandbox, I'm going to set it to platform only. Our third step is choosing the application type. I'll pick Ruby, I'll leave the version number as 2.1, and at this point we tell the platform where our code is. We have a sample app available. I'll grab the clone URL from our Git repo and use that. I'll leave the Rails version as 4, and I'll set the runtime environment to testing. The fourth step is just adding a load balancer. If you start adding extra application servers to handle traffic, the platform will automatically update the load balancer to start dispersing traffic across all your app servers. For the database, EngineYard uses Amazon RDS to create your DB. You can choose to create a new database or add it to just an existing one. I'll create a new one and choose what type here, MySQL, and the version number is fine. Here we can pick if we'd like failover or not. If we do choose to have failover, we create a replica database in a different availability zone, which is great for those mission critical production environments, but at the moment we don't need it. Here I'll choose the size of the DB, and you can see the specs of each here. Small is fine for this, and like your app instance, you can set your support level for the database per environment too, so we'll go with platform only again. If you're using any additional services like Redis or Memcached, you can create a cluster for them here. I'll spin up a Redis cluster to play around with, and we can see how that shows up on your dashboard. Finally, we get a summary of everything we've chosen and what we're about to create. This can all be customized a bit more in the next step, so let's go ahead and create that. So this is our dashboard. From here you can see the clusters we've set up, one for the application, one for the load balancer, and a Redis cluster. And you can see that our database is building now. The rest are still offline, so we can configure how many servers we want in each cluster and what sizes we want them to be before we boot them. We can get a bit more granular control if we go into each individual cluster as well, so let's take a look at that. In our application cluster you can see that so far we just have the one M3 large. Before booting, I can add more by clicking here, choosing how many and where I want them deployed to. If I leave it as default, it'll distribute them evenly across availability zones, so we'll just do that. And for now, I'll just add one extra server. Before booting, I can also add any OS packages I might need. For an example, I'll just add ImageMagick. And I can see other configurations in the stack along here, including Nginx and any cron jobs I might need to run. What I'll also do is add my SSH keys to the environment. These will be installed on every server I create, and I have full root access, so I can really see what's going on in there, and it's not some sort of magic black box scenario. You can also add collaborators to your account, and getting their keys set up is really easy. So now I think we're ready to go. To boot the environment, I just press the Update Clusters button. And so here we'll see the changes that we're applying, and we can see the 4 new servers, the SSH key I added, and there's the ImageMagick package ready to be installed. I can choose to update all the clusters at once, or if I just want to update individual groups, I can choose from these tick boxes here. We should be good to boot this environment up. I'll click Start Updating, and the platform will provision the servers with AWS, configure everything we laid out, and then when it's finished, we can deploy our application. This will usually take around 10 minutes, so now's a good time to take a short break, but we'll use a little movie magic to speed this up. While that's working away, it's also worth saying that there's no multi-tenancy, so you're not sharing these machines with anyone else. I've moved into the application cluster so you can watch the progress. This workflow makes it really easy to spin up and down environments, and if you do spin down an environment, the platform will automatically take a snapshot, and when you start it up again, it'll boot from that most recent snapshot so you can pick up right where you left off. That looks like that's finished, so we'll go back to the dashboard view and we'll hit deploy. I have the option to choose a specific branch of our repo to deploy from. I can also configure any migrations I want to run here as well. That all looks pretty good though, so let's go. You can watch the progress of the deploy on the application cluster here. Once the app is finished deploying, we can click Visit App and see our sample app up and running. And there we have it. That's all we'll cover for today. I hope that gives you a good idea of the EngineYard Pro platform. And if you have any questions, you can email us at pandas@engineYard.com or else reach out to us on the live chat.